Hi, I'm Emily Prokop from the podcast The Story Behind, which will be turned into a book which releases October 15th. The reason I mention the book is because I'm speaking at DC Podfest on that very subject, turning your podcast into a book. When I started my podcast, I didn't plan on turning it into a book, but when I was approached by a publishing company to do so, one of the things that they liked was that I already had a built-in audience that I had cultivating by having a podcast. In fact, one of the hardest things for authors to do once they write a book is build an audience, and many of them are starting from scratch. So as a podcaster, you already have a leg up if you're thinking about turning your podcast into a book. So some of the key points for the workshop that you'll get if you come to my session at DC Podfest is an overview of the steps you need to take your podcast and turn it into a book. From the idea of writing a pitch to actually writing the book to publishing either with a publisher or self-publishing and promotion. A lot of the pitch and promotion tips are probably things you should already be doing with your podcast. And one of the key things I want you to get out of the workshop is how great it is to turn listeners of your podcast into readers of your book and readers of your book into listeners of your podcast. I just did a little dance there. Look at that. So I hope you'll join me November 9th and 10th down in Washington, D.C. And hey, if you can guess from my podcast, I'm a huge history nerd. So what better place to hang out, right? So visit dcpodfest.com to get your tickets and I'll see you there. Bye.